Are you experiencing unexpected reactions to methylfolate? Stay tuned to uncover the truth behind these side effects. Hello and welcome to this community of people who are ready to heal naturally with food, herbs, supplements, and lifestyle. My name is Carrie Bailey. I'm your functional nutritionist. I work with people with anxiety, depression, and other weird mystery symptoms. You may know or have found out that you have the mthfr gene. About 50% of the population does. And you might have decided to bring in methylfolate to support that gene, only to find that your symptoms actually feel worse. Let's jump into today's video and explain what's really going on. When you first start taking methylfolate, you may have one of three experiences. First of all, you might take it and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Why didn't I find this before? I feel fantastic. The second response might be that you take it for a week and you feel really good. And then suddenly you start feeling like in a week, you start feeling angry, irritable, sad, anxious, or like me, extreme physical body pain. And the third group of people might take methylfolate and almost immediately, just taking the very tiniest amount, might suffer with these reactions. So let's talk about what some of those reactions might be. You might be struggling with irritability or other mood issues like anxiety. You might experience insomnia, sore muscles, achy joints, acne, a rash anywhere on your body. And again, this anxiety could be really severe depending on how much you take. You might have heart palpitations, you might find nausea, headaches, migraines, might have nerve burning or stinging, and you might have a runny nose as another side effect. So these are just some of them. There could be more. If you have had this experience where you've brought methylfolate in and you've gotten these side effects, pop a comment below and share your experience with me. I'd love to hear about it. What you've actually done is given your body something it needs, believe it or not. It means that you probably weren't methylating well before, and you put in a tool that helps you methylate. The problem is it's like the Goldilocks effect. It's like too much, too soon. So the good news is what you've done is given your body a nutrient that it needed, what was missing. The bad news is you're having these reactions. And so if you want to know more about methylation and why it works, check out this video where I talked a little bit more about MTHFR and methylation. So by adding in this methylfolate, what you've done is you've sped up methylation. I know some people, some practitioners talk about over-methylating and under-methylating. I prefer to think of genes as being fast or slow. So we know if you have the MTHFR gene, you're slow at making methylfolate. And so by putting in methylfolate, you're giving your body a little bit of a break. But if you're getting symptoms, that's not good. You don't want to feel worse. You want to feel better. It's important to go start low and go slow, especially if you already know that you're a sensitive person. But let's say that you've got this methylfolate in, you've taken it out, and it's triggered this not feeling so well, and you're still struggling with it. These symptoms that you've had, you likely probably had in the past at some point. These aren't new symptoms out of the woodwork. And what these symptoms are is actually the underlying pathogen, toxin, whatever's going on in your body. It's not the methylfolate. Methylfolate was simply the trigger, right? Just like events can trigger things, incoming new pathogens can trigger things. It's really the methylfolate that triggered the event. It's not that it caused it. So this is a sign that you need this nutrient. So that's good to know. But again, it's just a matter of dosage and a matter of timing. And are you ready for it yet? Because some people aren't ready for it. Sometimes people can bring in a really low dose and slowly titrate up. But some people might need to pull it out altogether. Maybe you put in the cofactors. So for instance, for the MTHFR gene, riboflavin is a cofactor. So if you can bring the other nutrients like riboflavin, zinc, maybe a B12 in the system, then you can start moving things. And I think of it as scaffolding, right? So you've got that MTHFR gene, that trigger that methylfolate is triggering. So we build the scaffolding around it to allow you to, at some point in the future, take methylfolate. So let's talk about the steps to take to offset these side effects. Step one, stop all forms of methylfolate, whether it's in a B complex. Make sure you look at your supplements and make sure that's not in there anywhere. Step two is to put in a nutrient, a supplement, to mop up those effects. You're going to kind of mop up the inflammation that got triggered. So these are my 4 suggestions probably in this order. The first supplement is niacin. There's a lot of different forms of niacin. The niacin form I want you to get is nicotinic acid. Now, this form of niacin, I'm laughing because it causes effects, but in the end, it'll be good, but there might be a little pain with it. So bear with me. So this nicotinic acid is the flushing form of niacin. So what happens when you take this form, not to everybody and not always, it's really, really interesting how this nutrient works, but you bring it in and you might, within 20 minutes, you might feel hot and prickly and itchy and really uncomfortable, but that will subside after 20 or 30 minutes and you should feel better than you did before you started taking it. So it's kind of an awkward product to bring in, but it really does work. If this works, what I want you to do is put in 50 milligrams a capsule every 2 hours until you feel like your symptoms are like 50% subsided. Now, the niacin I usually recommend for this is by Seeking Health. They have their niacin is nicotinic acid, so it will give you that flushing. Just don't be alarmed if you get that flushing experience. It's part of the healing, so it's part of it's helping you, and you should feel better. So if you start taking the niacin and you feel worse, stop. But if you were taking the niacin, bringing it in, you should feel better. If you feel worse, take it out. Another simple trick, this is something anyone could do, is really to exercise, right? So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling a headache, anything like that, exercising will help move it through your body. It will help your body methylate. It will help it move it through the system. And the third suggestion is hydroxycobalamin. Hydroxycobalamin is a B12 that is the precursor to adenylcobalamin and methylcobalamin. But it's like you're kind of going near it, but it's like you're going near the wound, but not touching the wound. And it also, hydroxycobalamin sort of mops up things. So for instance, methylfolate will produce more nitric oxide. So when you produce more nitric oxide, that's great, but it might be too much for your system. So it might have pushed it too far. So hydroxycobalamin will help you mop up that excess nitric oxide so that you come back to the Goldilocks level of nitric oxide. And sometimes actually people benefit by taking a little bit of methylfolate along with the hydroxycobalamin. And again, taking out and making sure that you're not taking any other methyls in the system. There's no methyl B12 at all, but taking the hydroxycobalamin with a little bit of folate sometimes can really help balance things and can make you tolerate folate a little bit better, methylfolate specifically. All right, and the fourth suggestion for supplements is reduced glutathione. This is another one, very powerful, so you got to be careful with it. So reduced glutathione is your body produces glutathione naturally. It is the major antioxidant in the body, and its job is to dampen inflammation. You can get it in capsule form, you can get it in powdered form, and you might need to open the capsule, or again, you might need to start with a really slow dosage and increase from there, right? You have to be really careful with these suggestions because they are really powerful. If someone's really depleted in glutathione, which is really easy. It's easy to be depleted in glutathione because your body's supposed to make it. So if it doesn't have the nutrients to make the glutathione and or you have too much inflammation, because it's like the firefighter, its job is to put out the inflammation. And so if you have a lot of inflammation, your glutathione can get depleted. So you want to put it in, but again, very carefully, because again, you don't want a strong reaction. So step 3, so remember, step 1 was to take out all methylfolate. Step 2 was to mop it up. So step 3 is to start healing your liver. So usually what happens is you've got a congested, a sluggish, an overburdened liver. And so in order to do that, we need to do a cleanse or a detox. And I like to do a food-based. That's really the best, safest way to heal your body. General approach is, you can do a food-based cleanse if you have access to that. You're going to want to reduce your overall fat intake, right? This helps your liver release toxins when it doesn't have to process fat. So reduce overall fat. And that includes animal protein, nuts and seeds, oils. You want to take it down, right? It's okay to have maybe a little bit of hemp seed, maybe a little bit of avocado. But other than that, I would really try to minimize the fats as much as possible. Bring in lots of fruits and vegetables. You can also bring in green juices. Green juices are great for gently cleansing the body. So you can have cucumber juice, celery juice, first thing in the morning, really good for cleaning out your liver. It's also, these celery juice and cucumber juice also act as electrolytes, really good form of natural sodium. So between the potassium, the sodium, and the magnesium in celery juice and cucumber juice, it really is going to help with the electrolytes in your body. And then again, help you mop up that methylfolate reaction. So remember that your body needs these nutrients, this electrolytes of the celery juice and the cucumber juice at the cellular level to really, that's really what we're cleaning. It's not just the liver, we're cleaning the cells within the liver, the cells in the body in general. So in summary, methylfolate sometimes can cause reactions for certain people. It all depends on the dosage and what's going on in the person's body. It might cause anxiety, pain, and your sleep might get worse rather than better. So step one is to take methylfolate out. Step two is to mop it up with niacin, exercise, hydroxycobalamin, or glutathione. And to step three is to help your body clear your body of toxins, of pathogens by doing a food-based cleanse, bringing in lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of green juice, celery juice, cucumber juice, for instance. Then once your symptoms have subsided, right, your liver's a little cleaned out, you can try bringing methylfolate in again. But again, start really, really slow and increase and have one of those tools, the niacin, hydroxycobalamin, or glutathione on hand to mop it up. If you made it this far and you're enjoying my videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can spread the word out to other people who are looking for natural healing. You can check out my anxiety and depression recovery guide in the description and the comments below. There you're going to find tips and tricks and all kinds of good advice to help you get started on this journey of healing. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.